A long, long time ago, the world was a beautiful place, but many people forgot to be kind and loving. They made choices that made God sad. But in this world, there was one man who was different. His name was Noah. Noah was a good and kind man who loved God with all his heart. He talked with God and listened to him, and they were the best of friends. Noah always tried to do the right thing, even when everyone around him was doing the wrong thing. He was like a bright, shining star in a very dark sky. The Bible tells us that Noah was a righteous man and walked faithfully with God. He chose to fill his days with love, kindness, and obedience, which made God very happy. One day, God spoke to Noah. He told Noah that he was very sad about the way people were behaving and that he was going to wash the world clean with a great big flood. But God wanted to save Noah, his family, and all the animals because Noah was so good. So God gave Noah a very special, very big job. He said, "Noah, I want you to build a giant boat, an ark. Make it very long, very wide, and very tall. Build it with rooms inside and cover it all over with pitch so it won't leak." It was a huge task. Noah listened carefully to everything God said. He didn't question or complain. He trusted God completely, so Noah and his family got to work. Day after day, they sawed wood, hammered nails, and built the enormous ark, exactly as God had told them. Can you imagine how big it must have been? Bigger than a house, bigger than a playground. As they worked, people from the nearby towns came to watch. They pointed and laughed at Noah. "Why are you building a boat on dry land, Noah?" they would say. "There's not a drop of water in sight." They thought he was silly. But Noah didn't let their words stop him. He knew he was obeying God, and that was the most important thing. This teaches us a wonderful lesson. We should always trust and obey God, even when other people don't understand what we're doing. Noah's faith was stronger than any doubt. When the huge ark was finally finished, the most amazing thing began to happen. From all corners of the world, animals started coming. Big elephants with long trunks, tall giraffes with spotty coats, and mighty lions with fluffy manes. There were bears and zebras, monkeys and kangaroos, and not just the big animals. Tiny little mice, wiggly worms, and beautiful butterflies all came too. They walked peacefully, 2 by 2, a boy and a girl of every kind, right up the ramp and into the ark. There was no pushing or shoving. The lions weren't scary and the mice weren't afraid. It was a parade of wonder and joy. Imagine Noah and his family watching all these amazing creatures come aboard their boat. The Bible says God told Noah to bring 2 of every kind of animal into the ark, and that's exactly what happened. Once Noah, his family, and all the animals were safely inside, God himself shut the door. And then, drip, drop, drip. It started to rain. At first it was just a few drops, but soon the rain came down faster and harder. It rained and rained for 40 days and 40 nights without stopping. The water rose higher and higher, covering the fields, the houses, and even the tallest mountains. But inside the ark, everyone was safe and dry. The big boat floated on top of the water just like a giant rubber duck in a bathtub. Noah and his family took care of all the animals, feeding them and making sure they were comfortable. God was protecting them all, just as he had promised. This shows us that God always keeps his promises and always protects the people who trust in him. After many, many days, the rain finally stopped. The sun began to peek through the clouds, and the water started to go down. Noah wanted to know if there was any dry land yet. So he opened a window and sent out a little bird, a dove. The dove flew around but came back because there was nowhere to land. A week later, Noah sent the dove out again. This time, when the dove came back in the evening, it was carrying something in its beak. It was a freshly picked olive leaf. Noah's heart filled with joy and hope. A green leaf meant that the plants and trees were growing again. It was a sign that the flood was over and a new, fresh world was waiting for them. The Bible tells us that in the evening, the dove came back with a freshly plucked olive leaf, a beautiful symbol of peace and new beginnings. Finally, the ark rested gently on the top of a mountain. God spoke to Noah again and said, "It's time to come out." Noah opened the big door, and he, his family, and all the animals stepped out onto fresh, clean, dry land. The air was sweet, and the sun was shining brightly. The animals ran and jumped and played, so happy to be on solid ground again. Noah and his family were so thankful to God for keeping them safe. They built an altar and thanked God for his goodness and his protection. And then God put a magnificent sign in the sky for everyone to see. A beautiful, colorful rainbow stretched from one side of the sky to the other. God said, "This rainbow is my promise to you and to all living things. I will never again cover the whole earth with a flood." The Bible says God told them, "I have set my rainbow in the clouds." Isn't that a wonderful story? It teaches us so many important things. First, we should always try to obey God just like Noah did, even when it's hard. Second, we can always trust God's promises. He says He will protect us and love us, and He always will. And every time you see a beautiful rainbow in the sky, you can remember this amazing story and God's promise to Noah and to all of us. Remember, God always keeps His promises. Thanks for watching with me today. Don't forget to subscribe for more fun stories. Bye-bye.